Guys and girls, welcome back to episode 5 of the Beyond the Pump podcast. Today, we have the Built Better coaching team of Bobby and Brad. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Hello.
You both okay?
Yeah, really good. I love how you said Bobby and Brad first at the start.
I'm going to ignore that bit. I'm all good, mate.
Yeah, we're going to cover a lot of different things in today's episode. But first of all, I think just a little bit of an introduction and a background into yourselves, your kind of career path so far, and kind of like how you got into coaching, and yeah, what's kind of like led you to where you are in the industry today. So whoever kind of wants to lead, or you can both kind of go together.
You're the most important. You can go first.
Hello, guys. So I have been in this space for over 10 years. Okay, I mean, Alex, we go way back.
We do.
When I was face-to-face PTing, you were doing it full time. I don't think you were doing online then, were you? I think it was just face-to-face.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about, this was 2020. No, it was earlier than that. We're talking maybe 2018 when I first started in this space, because I just turned 18 and I qualified as a coach, not having a clue what I'm doing. He's running on a treadmill, you know, as you start off. I feel like every female, when they want to get into the gym, we're all cardio bunnies. We don't know what the hell we're doing. So that was my starting point. So qualified as a PT. Well, I started the course at 18, qualified at 19. And then from then it was just up and up and up. Opened my gym in 2020, Bobby B Fit Gym in Ross-on-Sea, which was a huge success. And I spent 7 years on the gym floor before I became really a full-time online coach. I did a little bit here and there, but nowhere near to the extent that I am now.
When did you go full online then, Bobs?
I'd probably say...
You were still doing one-to-one when we got to it.
Yeah. Oh, God, what year was that? 2020? I would say...
Probably only 2024.
Yeah, I mean, 2023, I was dabbling in and out. Not really kind of pursuing it to the extent that we do now. I would say 2024, and then from then...
But you were doing it at the same time as me, because I kind of started online coaching. I took on my first client in 2022.
Yeah.
And I know that you were kind of like getting into it at that sort of time as well. We had a very kind of like parallel. We were running on parallel, sort of like with the direction we were going.
Yeah, no, it was fairly similar. And then I obviously sold the gym, didn't I? And then here we are now, 2026 in Dubai, living our best life.
No.
But yeah, no, I've been in the space for over 10 years now.
Yeah, massive amount of experience, both of you, to be honest, like both very experienced coaches. And yeah, Brad, give us a little bit of insight into your background and how you kind of got into the coaching space.
Been in it probably slightly longer than Bob. Maybe, I think I'm probably about 10 years. You're probably just under.
Just under.
Probably, if my maths is correct. So I, from the age of 16, was a professional athlete. From the age of 13, I was scouted to play for England Rugby League and for Wigan Rugby League, and that was ultimately what I wanted to do growing up. It was like my dream to be like most lads, probably a professional footballer or professional something, you know. I mean, I fucking hated school, but I was always okay. And I always just knew from an early age that like I wanted to do something practical with my life.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was good enough to do that, and I pursued that. From 13 up until I was like 21. Throughout that time, I was at university as well. I went to university to be a PE teacher.
Okay, that's crazy. Yeah.
When you think about it,
qualified.
Unbelievable.
Got my degree in that. Pretty early on in the course, I kind of decided that I didn't really want to do it, but I'd already committed to it, so I might have sort of finished it.
Got to do it.
I ultimately it was one of those things, like just, you know, having that was never a bad thing. I wasn't going to start it and not finish it, So throughout that, I kind of made a decision. I always liked the gym. It was one of the things that I enjoyed the most. I want to get a PT qualification at the same time. So I did that. And then ultimately, when my career came to an end, I decided I didn't want to play rugby anymore. I pretty much went straight into coaching, which I believe was probably like 2016, 2017.
And that was in-person PT, face-to-face?
I did both from the get-go, to be honest with
Right
you.
from the start, really? Wow. Yeah.
From the start, yeah. So obviously, like the foundations were obviously always one-to-one. It's the easiest way to get in. I think it's important that you get one-to-one on floor, on the gym floor experience before you can consider yourself an online coach.
Agreed.
But because I'd been from the north of England and because I'd spent so much time in, Lancashire and Wigan and whatever, I kind of knew people from multiple places. So I was coaching in one place, but kind of had clients in other places. You know what I mean? So it kind of just worked well that way.
Yeah.
So I always did both. Obviously, the primary income was one-to-one, and it was that way for probably up until, what year are we in now? Six,
yeah.
I don't know, probably because even when we got together, I was still doing bits of classes and stuff, wasn't I? But like very, very minimally.
Yeah.
Most of it was online at that point. It kind of switched in COVID, to be honest. Like COVID was the catalyst to moving very heavily online.
Online, yeah.
And then obviously when we got together and we decided we wanted to move, that was when it was kind of like, right, all in online, no more one-to-one, which would have been 2 years ago, nearly.
2 years ago. So when was Built Better officially founded? When did that start? Created? When was it created? Born. Yeah.
2024. We decide.
We kind of, yeah. I mean, it was established like legally, I guess, in 2024, in January 2024. But we kind of voiced it before that.
We spoke about it early on, like.
But we never really went fully in with it until January 2024, and
24, yeah.
Even at that point, really, it was kind of like my clients, Bobby's clients, just under the same coaching brand,
Yeah.
And it's just got more and more intertwined, I guess. Probably even more so since we've been in Dubai.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even more since we've been here. We kind of merged it. Although we were obviously under the same banner, I guess you've just been more of a collaboration, like more and more over time until now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's been really nice for me to see as well. Like, obviously, I have quite a unique insight with both you two, coaching both of you, and to see how you've both grown as individuals, but then grown the business together as well. Kind of so looking from the outside, but also getting that insight from kind of like the inside as well. That's been, it's been really good to see how much you've grown and how quickly as well. Like really,
you hear the crazy chaos on what it's like to run a business. Like everybody else sees like this pretty picture, like, oh, they live in Dubai, oh, they have, look at this little life they have. But really, like, we're having mentee bees every week, and we don't know if we're going to manage the week or if we're going to survive.
And that's the reality, though, isn't it? That's the reality of being successful coaches. You're managing multiple people, multiple kind of like projects with your kind of like 8-week programs and stuff as well. So you've got a lot going on, like a lot going on. And have you kind of like noticed? So you say like you've noticed like growth since you've moved out to Dubai as well.
Massively. And I feel like people say like when you move to Dubai, like it's so business headed and like everyone says like the opportunities here, and when you go here your business will thrive. It's the truth, isn't it? Like I feel like the first year was quite hard for us because obviously we'd just moved, we were finding our feet, the business hadn't really, it'd only been open a year, wasn't it? It'd only been running 12 months.
Yeah, literally 12 months.
So I mean, the first year was still really good for us, but this year, bear in mind, we're only in. What are we in? What month is it? It's May. No, it's April.
April.
Like the first year was like we were still just kind of like figuring it out. Like we were
finding our feet.
We were so used to like. I mean, I think deep down we both had like very, very similar outlooks on things. You know, Bobby has always took training seriously. Obviously, she'd been coached by you, and she'd got herself in really, really good shape, and she was very female dominated. And I'd obviously done multiple photo shoots and bodybuilding shows by that point, but our clientele was very different when we first started.
Yeah, like, it wasn't aligning.
I had done quite a bit more like transformation based stuff. You were a little bit more general lifestyle at the time, and we had to kind of like find a way to
merge
really hone in on like what our ideal client was and making sure it was in line with what we actually believed, you know. And then at the same time also was both being so used to doing things our way, we had to then find a way to make it work as a team. Do you know what I mean? And
there was a lot of adaptation.
Not only just that, it was like, as with anything, like things just take time. You know, it's just practice, getting things right, getting things wrong, and just kind of letting it be, I guess. Not only that, you had a bit of a shit year and you know, things going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Which was plus the move to Dubai, and we were trying to stress about all that and the logistics of that. Fucking Romeo had a bad back and couldn't walk for God knows how long.
I remember.
That whole year was just like, the first year of business was pretty chaotic, man.
But I think that's testament to you both, though, to be honest, because with everything that was going on, to still manage the number of clients that you do, to ensure the quality of coaching remained really, really high, that would be challenging for anyone. You know, forget even kind of like the business, just moving to another country. You know, I've done that myself, so I know what that kind of entails. And, you know, there's a lot to be said for both of you, like how you've handled kind of like the move, not only personally, but from a business perspective as well.
Yeah. You know? Why?
It's funny saying that now because, you know, we did handle it pretty well, but in the moment we were like, everything's just fucking falling apart. It was just like...
It was chaos. When I think back to it now, it was absolute chaos. And the money that we spent moving here, Alex, oh my goodness. We did do YouTube on it. It was just ridiculous.
Astronomical. But I think you have to be reactive in that sort of situation, don't you? You can only plan so much. You're just kind of reacting to like what's going on, what's happening. And that's where I think you two thrive. And I think that's part of what makes a good coach is you're very adaptable to your environment, and what's going on. You know, I think a lot of coaches coming into the space, they want things to be a certain way. They want their day to run a certain way. And we can make that happen more often than not. But there are the days where it's controlled chaos and you're fitting things in when you can. And, you know, the plan from the start of the morning looks very different as the day kind of evolves. And I do think that's a key kind of skill in a successful online coach. And I think both of you have that. So that's going to be one of the big reasons why you've both been as successful as you have, to be honest. And that's quite a nice segue into the next section, because you were talking about, you know, as the brand has developed, you've really wanted to align that with what sort of client you want to attract, who you want to work with. So what does your ideal client look like? What makes them a good client? What makes you want to work with that individual?
You want me to go first? Okay, so not in a big-headed way, but the ideal client is someone that's similar to me, that has the same interests, same values. Because back in the day when I was like booty queen and I was living my booty band life, it was very gen pop, and I would coach anybody that wanted to be coached. Come into my doors. But now it is so different. It cannot be any different. Like, we as a team now, we do not take the general person on that just wants to lose a little bit, lose a couple of pounds, gain some confidence. That's just not what we do anymore. But it's taken us a long time to get to this point. I would say in my career, it's taken me 7 years to coach who I want to coach. And now, being 27 years old, being in the industry for 9.5 years, 10 years maybe, now I'm only really coaching my ideal client, and it's a woman that knows what she wants. she's hardworking. She's not afraid to get her hands dirty, you know? She's not afraid to diet. She's not afraid to train hard. She shows up for herself. She respects herself. She believes in herself. That is my ideal client. And people like that they're so hyper successful. They're so because they see the goal and they will literally do. You've got to be a little bit psycho as well to do what we do and to achieve the results that we achieve. You have to be a little bit tough, don't you? Because it takes so much from you. It's so relentless and ruthless to diet and to train how we train on a consistent basis and to eat the same foods. Like not everybody can do it.
Nope.
And when you find somebody that can do it, the magic just happens. The results are they're phenomenal. And it's both of our ideal clients really, isn't it? But that is the people that I now coach. And I thrive in my work now. I really, really enjoy my work because I work with people like me.
I feel like it's one of those things that, like, you know, when you first start out, like you've been doing it 10 years or whatever, like Bob said, fucking 7 or 8 years to get to the point where you can almost kind of be selective about who you want to work with. And for a long period of time, it wasn't that way. You kind of just have to take who you can, because to be able to earn the right to be able to say, I want to work with you and not you kind of have to be able to prove that, like, you've got the fucking the credentials to be able to do it, you know? But for me personally, like, obviously, again, like Bobby said, I don't want to feel like sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet and whatnot. But when you've been a professional athlete for so long and from such a young age, it's like you're forced into a standard and held to a standard that's like that's elite. You know, when you kind of live a lifestyle of a professional athlete from the age of 13, and you move away from 15 and 16, and you have to take care of yourself, and you have to fucking, you know, put your own best interests at heart and hold yourself to a high standard because you're performing at a level that's, you know, arguable with one of the best teams in the country at the end of the day. That's just my identity at the end of the day now. And it's like anything less than that is really hard for me to like sympathize with, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know? So that is why we kind of were selective about who we want to work with, because it's just a lot easier for us to like, what's the word? Like connect with and understand.
Enjoy as well. Enjoy it, don't we? You've got to enjoy the job.
It's just like, because it's at the end of the day, you have your opinions because of your life experience. You know what I mean? Everybody's entitled to a different opinion, but my opinions are my opinions because of the life that I've lived. And it's a lot easier to work with somebody that's in line or aligned with your personal values and your personal opinions, you know?
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, like, it's not about fucking gender, it's not about age, it's not about any of that stuff. At the bottom line, though, the people that we want to work with are the people that want to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, I totally get it. And I think, as you develop as an individual as well, and especially if you're, as your physique develops, you become a reference point for people who do take things more seriously and, hold themselves to higher standards. I'll be honest, like, I can't remember the last time I got an inquiry off someone who is kind of new to the gym, or, I just don't get those people. I'm getting more competitors now, really. And like you say, it's just because of the way that you are, the way that you go about your training, the way that your lifestyle. Ultimately, that is going to attract who you generally align with and who you want to work with. And I think that is one of the problems with social media, is that a lot of people, they try to pretend to be things that they're not. And that authenticity never really comes across. And so they're going to struggle to attract really the people they want to work with, because again, their kind of development and the results they're getting is not kind of like showcasing that they're doing that, and I think there's that kind of direct correlation. The coaches who do really apply themselves, they live the lifestyle, they show up, year on year, they continue to get better. the clients that they attract also just get better and better and better. And then obviously you're producing better results. So then you're attracting people who want better results. And I've seen that with my own coaching, and I've definitely seen that with you guys as well.
I feel like it's one of them, though. It's like, obviously, like you say, you're your own billboard, right? So it's like everything you do and everything that you say, people are listening, and it's going to attract the people that have a similar opinion to you. But like you said before, I think I've definitely struggled with this in the past, and ultimately it's because it's a business at the end of the day. We do this because we love it, and we do it because we care about our clients, and we care about getting our clients results, because we know how important it is, and we know how, amazing it can be for your life and, your confidence, whatever. But at the same time, it's like when you've got bills to pay, you almost of like wanting to please everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've been in that position before, like years ago. It's like, I don't really want to say what I want to say because I don't want to upset that person.
Yeah.
In reality, what you should be saying is exactly what you feel, because then your clientele is just going to be way more aligned with what you believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
Hard kind of really having the confidence to be able to just do that, though.
Yeah.
When you think about like, finances and bills and whatever, it's like, well, the more people I can help, the more money that I'll make. But
sure.
Really, the problem is, it's like when you're preaching to everybody, you're really preaching to nobody.
Yeah. And you lose yourself, don't you? You lose yourself because you can feel that you're not being true to yourself in that message. You're saying things that you know that you don't believe in. And like you say, Brad, you're just trying to people please. And I think that's some really good advice from all of us three to anyone who's kind of like, just getting into the coaching space is like, just be yourself, be authentic, believe in your own message. And I think, you will then start to attract, the right sort of people.
I think that's a big one on content, because it's like a lot of people are kind of like, oh, what should I post today? What's working? Like, and looking at other people's shit. Like, oh, that went well for them. Maybe I should say that. It's like, no, just say what you think. You know what I mean?
And as well, like, be consistent with it. Like, that's what I love about your guys. Like, you guys are very consistent. Like, you're not saying one thing one week and then the next week you're saying a completely different message. Your message is clear, it's concise, it's repeatable, so people can get behind that because the message always remains the same,
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is now, there's so many coaches, Alex.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Like, it's so saturated the industry, and anybody can give you a plan. What's going to make a coach stand out is who they are as a person, their beliefs, their opinions, and like, again, like being authentically, I can't even say the word. Being yourself, like just being true to who you are. That is what's going to make you stand out. Like your personality and how you portray yourself is what's going to attract somebody. If you're funny, if you're witty, if you say what you want to say, you've got thick skin, like people are going to be attracted to it. You'll kind of filter out the people that you don't want to work with, and your tribe will come to you.
People invest in people, don't they? That's ultimately the truth.
Sure, yeah, it is. You're right. You've nailed it.
Yeah, people invest in people. Okay, so what are, in both your experience, what are some of the biggest mistakes that clients make? That could be all different phases of coaching, really. It could be at the start. It could be, through kind of like, the middle sort of like part of depending on, what they're doing. What are some of the mistakes you see clients make?
I think the main one is just going into saying I want to lose weight, for example, but not really ever really having any substance behind it. I feel like most people just have this like blanket goal. For example, general population people get to January, they're like, oh, I better lose some weight this year. And like, that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
There's no like real purpose. There's no real structure. There's no real timeline. There's no real clarity. It's just like a statement. And then you just kind of like throw the fucking kitchen sink at it and just like hope that it works.
Yeah.
It never fucking does.
No.
It never does. You know what I mean? I think that's the first thing that you need to do. You need to get clear on what it is that you want. You need to get clear on why you want it.
And
then you need to get clear on how you're going to get it and when you're going to get it by. Because if you give yourself all those 4 things, it makes it a shitload more purposeful in your mind.
Way more.
It makes it a lot easier to actually do and stick to.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing that I would say initially, at least at the beginning. That's one thing that you need to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's the value in having a coach, isn't it? All that's taken care for you. Like, well, you need to provide the, like Braz was saying, you need to know why you're doing it. A coach can't or shouldn't really give you your why, but the how and the when and the timeline, that's where the coach really comes in. That's where the expertise come into play.
Absolutely. And I feel like when people have these issues or they want to get into it, they don't know how to do it, they'll think, right, I'll hire a coach and just think that all of their problems are solved and not actually understand they have to do the work. Like I've had clients join and it's taken them sometimes 8 to 9 weeks to pull their finger out. And I'm like, we could have been so much further down the line if you did this from the start.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just don't click straight away. It takes them a few rounds. Just listen, execute, you will get results. But it's like they have to, some people have to almost warm into it, instead of just throwing yourself at it. And I honestly think, like, if a coach is giving you exactly what you need, throw yourself towards it. You've got nothing to worry about because they are literally taking care of everything. All you have to do is execute. And people sometimes think, oh, I'll just ease myself in. I feel like you've just got to throw yourself in the deep end.
Sometimes they like the thought of it, don't they? They like the thought 100%. Of like having a plan.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I've got a coach now, and and I actually put a post on the other day, and it did really, really well, saying that yes, hiring a coach is great. You've got someone to hold you accountable, take direction, give you what you need, but yeah, you're missing the most important part is you actually doing the work.
Yeah,
and people for some bizarre reason think that you don't have to work. You just hire it.
I feel like you have to
absolutely.
It's all good wanting a goal. It's all good wanting the end product. But if you don't want what comes before the end product, then you're just never going to achieve it. You know what I mean? You almost have to want the suffering. You almost have to want the structure. You have to want to do the work.
I think that's social media, isn't it, as well? Like if somebody looks on your page or they, and they look at like the transformation you guys produce and the results you produce, they're just seeing a snapshot, aren't they? They're seeing the before and the after. It's almost like magic. It's like, wow, like this person's just like completely transformed. They're a completely different person. But how long did that take? And if it was an exceptional transformation, more than likely that person was pretty invested pretty quickly. They were doing things right pretty from the start almost. The best transformations, the people lock in right away.
Yeah. They're hungry for it from the get-go. They just know, right, okay, that's where I want to be. Let's fucking go. Like that is like their attitude towards it. I think you've almost got to be like hungry for it. You've got to be somewhat obsessed, I think, in a really healthy way. And a really positive way. You've got to be obsessed with your goal to be very, very, very good at it.
It has to consume you, doesn't it? It has to.
Yes.
Like, because we know, like when people aspire to these insane transformations, like life-changing transformations, there is going to be a big change, a big shift in lifestyle. You're going to have to do cardio, more often than not. You're going to have to train, very consistently with a lot of intensity and effort. You're going to have to be very consistent with your food. You're going to have to plan ahead of time. You're going to have to think about social events coming up. And yeah, a lot of people, they want that. They want that result. They see that image. They want that, but then they're not willing to change the way that they live. And it just doesn't align. They don't go together. Do you now see, though, that as you both said, you're now attracting the sort of clientele that you really want to be working with? Are people you find like locking in faster and they're, right from the start, from the initial consultation, they're kind of like, right, we're in, we're ready to work?
Not all the time. People still have fucking problems. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
well, there's a reason they've come to you, isn't there, at the end of the day?
I think most of the people that do come to us do kind of expect to be worked a bit harder now.
Sure.
which is good. You know, we're kind of filtering out the time wasters, shall we call
them. Mm-hmm.
But you know, people still struggle with stuff. People still find it difficult, and I think no matter, you know, no matter how much time passes, even now with us, like dieting isn't a breeze. You know, it's still difficult. We
Oh, of
still have
course,
to work around stresses of life. You know, we still have to deal with bombs going off, and
yeah, not your everyday problem, but yeah.
Oh, you know, it's like life throws things at you no matter what, no matter how willing and no matter how prepared you are. It's like you still have to be adaptable like that, and you still have to, you know, understand that it doesn't come without discomfort. You know, but to go back to your question, I think a lot of people are more willing to do that. I don't know about yourself. I got a question for you, but it's like one thing that I think a lot of people do, and a lot of people don't understand. It's like they overcomplicate it. It's like getting in shape isn't actually complicated at all.
Not really. No, you're right.
Really simple, you know, I think there's a problem with the people where it's like you almost don't expect it to be as hard as it is, which obviously, especially when you've never done it before.
For sure,
it's a bit of a shock to the system when you're kind of like, well, I've got an hour of cardio to do every day, and I've got 12,000 steps to do every day and 5 gym sessions a week, and like that in comparison to just about scraping by with 3 sessions a week and eating what you want is completely different. But then at the same time, it's like people also don't bother trying because they think they need to be perfect at every single
true.
It's like you have to be very, very hardworking, and you have to be as you can be all the time.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like as soon as something fucks up, there's also a camp of people that just go, fuck it, it's all fucked. Like I might as well just not bother. It's like you have to be able to try to be as consistent and perfect as you can all of the time. But to understand that when life and things don't go perfect, it's okay.
Of course it is.
You have to get back on track. And I think that kind of middle ground is really where the success is.
Yeah, totally agree. I think, one of the things you need to be, and this is both as a client and as a coach, is adaptable. You have to be, because life, not every single day, like we said before, is going to go as you want to. Things are going to happen, things are going to come up. But I think, and this, for me, this is one of the things that people take a little bit of time getting used to is preparing. I'm fortunate with what I do that I don't have to prepare too many of my meals. I can kind of cook a lot of my food fresh, which I'm very grateful for. But a lot of people, even, a lot of people I coach, they have to prepare their food ahead of time because, they're out and about, they're working. And so, they have to change the way that they live. And like you say, a lot of people struggle with that. They struggle with change and adapting. It's kind of like that discomfort that you were talking about. They want the result. They see these images online that they aspire to have a better physique, a better quality of life. But then what's needed to facilitate that, they're not always ready to kind of go the distance that they need to.
I feel like there's the word structure and the word preparation and the word organization instantly in a lot of people's minds that have never done it before. They just instantly think restrictive, can't do that, don't do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, the reality is for a lot of people, all these people are just winging their way through life, and they're like so consumed with stuff that they've got going on, and they feel like they're really time poor. But the reality is, like, if they just committed to this little bit of structure and prepped a couple of meals like a couple of days in advance and got up at the same time and went to bed at the same time and trained at the same time, their life would be a lot simpler and there'd be a lot less
Absolutely. Stress. Do you both find though that social media now, because there's so many different messages being put out there by like different coaches, oh, you need to diet this way, you need to do this way, this is how you should train, this is how you should do this. Do you find like a lot of people are like very confused now in terms of like what they actually need to be doing and like Brad said, like it is actually quite simple to get in shape, but people almost don't believe that it's simple to get in shape because they're being told online all the time, like, you need to be doing this, you need to be, doing things a certain way. And it builds that, almost like you were saying, that perfectionism complex. Like, if you're not doing it perfectly, you will not get results.
Yeah. I think it's overwhelming for people. Like,
I agree,
you can
boss.
open up the app and it'll say, don't eat eggs, they'll kill you. Or like,
Yeah.
eating a banana is bad for you. Like, things that make no sense. It's nonsense. And like Brad said, getting in shape is really simple. It's not it's not a super, super difficult thing to do. Or us three don't find it anyway. But
No.
There is such miscommunication. And that's why people are so just like, what the hell do I believe?
Yeah.
The problem is, though, it's like, because everybody's it's like, it's part of the coach's problem, and it's partly the problem, like the content producer's problem, but it's also partly the content consumer's problem.
Yeah.
Which is like, the content consumer now has such a short attention span that, like, they're just flicking through shit and just not really paying attention to anything, which puts a pressure on us as coaches to be able to grab somebody's attention like that. So it's like, all of these people that are saying these outlandish statements, that are using clickbait and rage bait content, like, you must not do this and you must do that. It's because it, to the consumer, it's like, oh, well, I better do that then. It's the only thing that's going to get that person's attention. So it's like a double-edged sword, because you can't escape it, because the only thing that the people believe is the thing that the people are saying that makes it sound like this is the only thing, which isn't true. You know, that's ultimately why, I don't know if you've noticed it before, but like, I've started posting content now recently, rather than saying, don't do this, I've started videos by saying, this exercise is a pretty good exercise, but I'd do this exercise instead, personally. And it's just a way where I could be like, I think this exercise is better, but it doesn't mean you can't do the other one.
For sure.
Like, I've noticed it, and I'm like, I'm trying my best to kind of like not give ultimatums to people, because I don't want to be confusing people like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's the truth, isn't it? Like, a lot of coaches now with their content, they speak in absolutes. Like, this is the only way to do things. Like, you can't do it any other way. There are so many different ways that you can train. There are so many different ways that you can get in shape. You know, you've just, as an individual and as a coach, you've got to together find the way that works for that individual. And that is going to be different from person to person. But like you said, both of you said in different forms, like, the people that are consuming content, they're not like us. They're not educated. They don't know the difference between, certain exercises, different foods. They will believe that a banana is bad for you because it contains sugar. They just don't understand.
Spike your insulin, you better not eat a banana.
Well, exactly. No, yeah, bananas are the devil. So they don't have that kind of knowledge to decipher between what is true and what is not. And like Brad said, like, some of these people that are in the industry, unfortunately, to almost kind of like prey on people's lack of knowledge and, insecurities, they're saying it with such confidence and in such a way that sounds so absolute that these people, they believe them,
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, when I'll start with people and I kind of like ask for some background information on like what they've been doing, some of the things that people have told me that they do, I'm like, wow, like, where did you get this from? Where was, at what point did you think this was a good idea? It could be an example, like they're dieting, so their calories are just like ridiculously low right from the start. So they've got nowhere to go. Like, and that's what I kind of say to them in the consultation. I'm like, okay, so you're here, but like, where do you go from here? How do you progress the diet? How do you make the deficit? And like, your body's just like super stressed, and no wonder it's not responding. And again, social media, because it portrays things, extremes get rewarded, don't they? Like Brad was saying, like rage bait and strong opinions and absolutes and definites, it gets rewarded. And so people almost like believe that that's the way you have to be, and things have to be extreme. The transformation you guys produce, they must be doing, an hour to 2 hours of cardio a day. And yeah, in some cases, at certain points, yeah, they probably are, because it is an extreme result and it requires an extreme approach. And, I think it would be good for, some coaches in the industry to be more transparent with what it actually requires to make a transformation of that kind of level, because it really is. It's not easy.
I think there's a problem inherently just with social media in general, purely because it's short form. It's like, no matter, I have a problem when I'm doing content in keeping my videos short. It's like, I feel like I'm doing a video and I'm like, oh, I'm not really giving the full context here. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to be able to give somebody solid advice in 90 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I think is ultimately why we should all be branching out into more YouTube stuff. And we've talked about it a million times and just never followed through with it.
Yeah.
But, like just having an opportunity to be able to actually explain something in with a bit more context and a bit more nuance. It's the only way that you're going to get people to actually understand it.
Well, that's where I think Built Better is quite unique as well, because obviously you're two coaches together, but obviously male and female as well. Do you guys see differences between, because obviously I coach males and females as well, but I'm obviously a male, so I don't really see it from like the female's perspective, like Bob's, like you will. Do you kind of like see differences in terms of like mindset, or how you have to like manage men and women? And like, that's like one question for Brad, because obviously you will work with both guys and girls, but Bob's, you'll just work with females. Yeah. Do you see kind of like, but obviously you'll be aware of like the guys that, Brad's kind of coaching. Do you see kind of like differences in how you have to manage them, or,
I feel like, and I'm just going off seeing Brad's clients from like an outsider. They all just crack on. Honestly, they just crack on. So I can't really say that I see a huge difference, because I think our girls work really hard too.
Do you mean in the sense that the way that I implement coaching, or do you mean in the way that I implement kind of accountability, like the way that I speak to a client?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Like, do you feel yourself having to kind of like change the way that you might kind of like approach things between the two?
I mean, obviously, outside of the fact that women are going to want a completely different program to a guy, obviously different muscle groups and whatever that they're going to try and bias and stuff. So obviously we'll implement that. But generally speaking, the same principles of progressive overload and whatever, they work the same for both men and women. Like if more women started to train more like a man, they'd probably progress more. But that being said, a lot of the guys that I've had form analysis off initially, like they still have a lot of work to do. It's like, most people think that training is like the easy thing. I bet you've had that on consultation calls before. It's like, training's not the problem. My food's not the problem. Like, well, maybe it is. Maybe you find food more difficult than training. But when I actually look at you, you've still got a lot of fucking room to go. Do you know
Absolutely.
what I mean? But like outside of that, I guess obviously we've got to factor in, hormonal differences, maybe different macronutrient intake, slightly higher fat for women. Being a bit more considerate about that, trying to not bring that down as much, trying to keep that a little bit higher.
Yeah.
You've got to, at the end of the day, a woman is a different kind of, not physiology, but each week it's kind of like they're a different kind of state, So it's like, and I think it's surprising how many women aren't actually in tune with themselves that way. Like, I almost have to explain menstrual cycle to a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's why that happens. Even like the fact that like they don't understand why they're hungry when they're coming on.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're a bit more hungry because you're now burning through your calories a little bit quicker. Stuff like that, and understanding the recovery side of that. It's like, I think coaching women is naturally a little bit more complicated than coaching men, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I do find that sometimes personally, I have to, or at least maybe I don't have to, but I feel like I'm doing it anyway, communicating in a slightly softer way.
Yeah.
Just in case, because I think this is natural. Women are going to gravitate towards women, like especially if there's a guy and a woman side,
sure,
like they're going to gravitate towards Bobby naturally, which is fine and understandable. But I think at least for me, it shouldn't matter whether I'm a guy or a girl. If I know what I'm talking about and I've got a track record of results of working with women, why does it matter? I pride myself on trying to understand a woman. I would never understand because I don't go through what they go through.
Sure.
But I have enough. I think I have enough experience to be able to say I've dealt with plenty of women over the course of my life to be able to confidently, help.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of that, Bobs, as well? Like we were just saying before, do you get people like kind of come to you and say like, my training's like absolutely fine, I just need kind of help with the food, or the other way around, like my food is absolutely great, like I'm fine there, it's just the training I need help with? Do you kind of like get that often, or is it more just like they want help with everything?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. They will somewhat think that they are nailing everything to an absolute T and they're just doing one thing wrong.
Nine times out of 10,
it is both. It is literally both. And like as Brad said, like Brad's quite soft. I am not soft. I have grown some thick ass skin since I've been in this industry. Like I will happily look at a woman's check-in and go, "This isn't good enough."
Whoa. I'm not soft.
Whoa.
I just feel like I have to be careful.
Yeah.
Softer.
You saying to a woman, pull your fucking finger out of your ass and get a grip. Coming from you, the woman would be like, oh yeah, I respect that.
Yeah,
but coming from me, they'd be like, what a cunt. You know what I mean? I feel like I can't say the same things as you, regardless of whether I have to say them. So I have to find a way to kind of be like firm without coming across like I'm being disrespectful.
You can be like that with your guys though, can't you?
Yeah, with a guy, I'd be like,
yeah, sure.
It's the same with me and my girls.
That's what I'm saying. It's a communication difference. It's not that I'm soft. It's that I have to find a way to like, I have to be considerate of the fact that I don't want to upset this girl because I'm a guy at the end of the day. I don't want it to come across aggressive. With the same message.
Yeah.
It can be perceived completely differently. Do you know what I mean?
It's really interesting though, isn't it? How kind of like a lot of people, they think they've got it all down. And like you say, it's just one thing that's just need this fixing and like everything's.
No, it's not.
I don't know if you were in the other room before. I don't know if you heard it or not, but we were saying that like most people think that they're really good at training.
I know.
So not.
Yeah.
They're so not. And I trained with a client this morning and she trains really well. She's got an epic physique. She is a badass bee. Like she walks into a room and everyone stares at her because she's that sexy. Okay. She's sexy, isn't she?
Talking about
Sophie.
And another way I would say,
she trains so hard, and I trained with her today, and I literally humbled the shit out of her. She was like, "Right, you just unlock that extra like level that you didn't even know you had." Like I trained with you once, and you absolutely murdered me. What did we do? Like,
I remember that session.
I've made noises I never knew that could come out my mouth before. Like what? It was so hard.
I feel like no matter how good you are at training, there's always another level.
You can always improve. Always.
Totally agree. Yeah, because I was just saying, like when you come home, Bobs, that's what will be happening. Straight in.
No, I'm ill that day. I can't make it.
Straight back into the sport. Straight in for a big session. No, I do agree with you both. I think that's the hardest part about online coaching, whereas like with face-to-face, it was so much easier, is that the online element with correcting people's training is just difficult, because even if people are kind of like sending you videos, like you then have to like kind of go back, watch that video, listen to the feedback again, and then kind of like think about that actively when you're doing that at the the next point that you're doing. And because people like, so busy these days, they got so much going on, it is difficult to kind of like constantly be thinking about like cues that you've been given, like running over and like, people are, like I say, got busy lives, have got a lot going on. And I think a lot of people, when they train, they can be quite distracted. And I think one of the ways to really kind of leveling up is trying to the best of your ability, like when you go to the gym, like that is your time. That is your time for you, for no one else. And we understand that as coaches more than anyone, just because all the rest of our time is just giving it to other people. So that window of each day is like, it's your opportunity to just do something good for you.
It's so valuable. If I don't train, I lose I'm having a mentee B. I'm having a mentee B.
I don't think I could coach if I didn't train. I'd be jealous of everyone. I'd just be like, no, you're all having fun and I'm miserable. So no.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mad. Okay. This is controversial, but what are some red flags as a coach? So we've kind of probably touched on some of them already. So from a coaching perspective to a client, what is like red flags for you?
What does a coach do to a client that's a red flag?
No, the other way around first. So kind of like you as a coach, what is a red flag in a client?
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I know. Okay. Hi, how much is coaching?
Oh, yeah.
Straight away, when that goes in my DMs, I'm like, no. Like the second that you are more interested in the price rather than the actual process, I'm signed out. I don't want to coach this person because all they see is the money. They don't see the value in coaching. So to me, straight away, I'm like, no, I don't want that lead. Like that instantly, I'm like, no, it's a big no for me.
Well, they've not even like asked about like the service or, anything yet. They've just
wait, Alex, they've not even gone, hi, how are you? It's just, how much is coaching?
Yes. Like you're just some sort of commodity. Like,
I'm great. How are you?
Are you talking about like before they became a client? Or are you talking about?
Really?
Both, really. Yeah, before and during, really.
I guess another simple one would be like when they throw it in the Q&A and it's just like one-word answers.
What do you want to achieve? Fat loss.
Yep.
What do you struggle with? Food.
Like just like the most fucking simple, like one-word answers, no effort whatsoever, no thought, no passion or anything.
I think you could apply that to check-in responses as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Just kind of like not a lot of feedback. So you're like, well, you have to then have to dig and you have to start asking questions because you're like,
need to know more. It's like when they fill the check-in form in and it's half-assed, but then it says, how's your week been? And it's like, good. Or like,
what am I supposed to do?
How are you feeling? Fine. Like, well, clearly you're not fucking fine and clearly your week's been terrible because this check-in shows it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think frustrating.
Very frustrating. And I don't think kind of like a lot of people who, are on the consumer side, I don't think they think about that from our perspective. Like what would you do if you received this form that you've just filled in? You'd be like, that's not really a lot to go off.
No, it's a shitty check-in. So really, you should get a shitty response. Great, crack on.
Yeah.
Like if you're giving, and I feel this, and you guys might feel the same. Like if your client isn't vibing with you, they're not giving you much feedback, communication isn't really there. It's hard to bounce. It's hard for you and this client to really do your magic together. Like if you're not getting on, if the communication is shit, you're like, well, how do we build a relationship from here? Because I think the reason why I've had such great results with you, Alex, is because like, yes, I respect you. I've learned so much from you, but like equally, like we vibe, we align. Yeah. We
communicate though as well, don't we, Bob?
We communicate so well. And I think that is a massive part in coaching. Like you don't want to be like besties and be like I think that there's a difference of being like best friends and like you can kind of lose the authority as a coach, but you have to get on, you've got to vibe, you've got to I feel like you have to very much align.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've hit the absolute nail on the head there, Bob. So communication is probably the biggest one in every sense. So everything we've just spoke about is communication right from the start. How they interact with you at the beginning of the process, consultations, everything like that. How do they respond and communicate on a weekly basis? And then do you it is directly proportional. The effort that they put into you, you will put back. If somebody is messaging me a lot and they're like, I naturally just feel compelled to match their energy. Whereas if I'm not like speaking to someone and like, I feel that distance, then I feel that disconnect. And you can't help it. It's just human nature, I think. It's like a friend, isn't it? If you see someone like very often, you're just naturally going to like get closer to them. You're going to understand them more.
100%.
And if you've got a friend that you hardly ever see and hardly ever communicate, yeah, you may get on when you actually come together, but there's that disconnect. And I think doesn't get spoken about enough in coaching, I don't think. I think it's probably the biggest part of it all, really.
And it's a difficult one because for me, you probably know this, but as a client, I don't pester you at all.
No, you don't. We're very easygoing.
Like I don't know what to do and I'll do it. Like obviously the last few weeks have been a bit more complicated, but like generally you just have what to do and I'll do it. Like I don't need to be like, oh, hey, but how are you doing? Do you know what I mean? So
no.
Like, for me, I feel like I've always been like that. But so from my perspective, I feel like I don't need much more than just to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, obviously, like, man, when we get together and like when we talk on the phone, like we chat.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's a necessity to just chat shit every day. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, I know I find it difficult, especially as a coach, getting messages from my clients or not getting messages from my clients to perceive whether are they trying not to be a pain in the ass and they're not like, they don't want a message because they feel like they're being a pest.
Yeah.
Or are they purposely being avoidant because they're not doing what they should be doing? Do you know what I mean?
Can you both sense that with your clients though?
I can sense it.
You can sense the difference between those two things though, yeah?
Yeah.
I can as well, definitely.
I can, and it's difficult, but then I also at the same time, like, again, like you said, the clients that give you that energy and they give you good energy, it's like you're probably more inclined to reach out and go, mate, are you all right? This isn't normal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The clients that aren't like that, it's like at the same time, I also feel like it's not my responsibility to be messaging you every day to do the bare minimum. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And this is interesting insight for the people listening, because obviously I coach you both, but my communication with you two couldn't be more different. Like me and Bobby speak most days. Yeah. No, me and Bobby speak most days. Whereas Brad, we won't speak for a bit, but then like you say, when we do speak, we'll just like, we're going to take a call later this week. We'll hash out the plans for basically like the rest of the year. And then I just know like you'll be sound for a bit then. And yeah, obviously
and I'm like texting you like, hey Alex, what are you doing?
But for the people listening, like it changes depending on what phase you're in. Like the phase that Brad has been in, like it doesn't need like micromanaging like on a like very consistent basis. And even us, Bob's, like we've not been making like loads of adjustments week to week. It's more just like that's our communication style. We just talk often. Yeah. Whereas us, Brad, we kind of like we don't talk as often like on the daily. But then when the times where we need to talk, like we just hash it all out. And like when we get to a certain point in prep, like we're talking more regularly then. But that is very interesting for me as a coach, like how different I am with you both as well. Just because you both have different styles of how you like to communicate. But I'm aware, like, I don't think like Brad's ignoring me or why is he not messaging me? I just know that's how he is. Yeah. Whereas if Bobby didn't message me for like 2 weeks, I'd be like, why is she ignoring me? Why is she not messaging me?
Yeah, why?
Because it would be so outside of your normal behavior. I'd be like, I'd message you, be like, are you all right? What's wrong? Where have you been?
Yeah, literally.
Whereas if Brad started messaging me every day, I'd be like, are you all right, mate? Like, what's
the matter?
What's changed?
Just about to get a text back from him myself.
Literally.
Honestly, if I didn't have to have this thing, I wouldn't have it.
Okay, so
the distance.
That is so funny. Okay, so we are approaching the hour, guys, so we need to wrap things up. So we're just going to do some quick fire rounds now. So both of you just kind of give like, one or two little examples of kind of like maybe some unpopular opinions that you have. And this could be to do with kind of like, like fitness and coaching in general. So for an example, it might be like, I don't know, like most people don't train hard enough. So like you said,
Okay.
a lot of people think they train hard. So they're like, oh yeah, my training's fine. Like, I don't need any help there. And it's like, well,
Okay.
unpopular opinion, you don't train hard enough. Like,
Yeah.
simple as
Okay.
that.
Okay, I've got one, and
Okay.
this is a little bit outside of coaching.
Mhm.
Unpopular opinion: you've got to stay sexy for your partner. You
Okay.
can't get out of
I like
shape.
it.
Like when you
I
get
like
in a
it.
relationship, you are like the best version of yourself. Like you're
Mm.
sexy, like you've got everything going for you. But when you get comfortable, why do people get fat? Why do people get
Yeah.
lazy? They stop doing what they normally would. And I think as your responsibility as a partner, you should get sexier. Like I didn't sign up to be with a fatty in the nicest way possible. Like you should be getting sexier together. That's an
Yeah.
unpopular opinion. Like I didn't sign up for this. Do you know what I mean?
And that you can actually see that happen a lot, don't you? Do you know, like if
All the time.
one person in a couple signs up for coaching, they start getting like great results. That can actually have like a very deleterious effect on that relationship for that couple because now
I've
they're
seen it happen all the time.
yeah, same.
A lot.
Yeah, same.
Like the man can't handle the woman getting sexy.
It's actually, yeah, it's worse the other way around, man. It's worse.
They get like really insecure.
Guys are insecure, mate. It's fucking
guys are insecure. You're right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like that's an interesting question. I know it's outside the quickfire round. We'll go back to that, but like overall, do you think more females get coaches or more males? Like worldwide,
more females.
I would agree. More females, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Men have got these little egos that they feel like they can do it alone, or they don't need a coach. They don't want to listen to somebody else.
Agreed. Totally agree. It is definitely like a female. Like there are more and more guys getting coaches now, for sure.
Yeah, they are.
It's growing, but definitely I would still say it is like female led. Yeah, 100%. So an unpopular opinion, Brad, what do you think? Just move your mic, mate. I can't hear you for some reason. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Is that the mic?
Yeah. I've got no idea.
Oh, okay. It's not quite as exciting as Bobby's, but I think that if you're not in shape, you should be in the meal plan. I don't believe that being flexible with your food is a good idea at all. Talk about whether you want a balanced life or not. If you want a balanced life, kiss goodbye to your physique. I think you need to be restrictive to a certain degree, and I think a meal plan is the easiest way to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you've really got the aspirations to take your physique the furthest level, I think a meal plan, it depends on the experience of the individual. Like, you know, if you're talking about like you two, I would feel confident giving macro targets, and I know you'd be absolutely fine. You know, you write meal plans all day, every day.
But the problem there is you give us the macros and then we create a meal plan, so we're eating a meal plan anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
I think and when I say a meal plan, I don't necessarily mean like the same boring food for like
every
6
day.
months.
Yeah.
I just mean that you need a nutritional structure there that's reachable and repeatable, that is mostly the same meals on repeat. And then if you get bored of them, you can change them. But the easiest way to do it is to just stick to the same food all the fucking time.
Yeah, I would agree. Digestibility, all these kind of things. Yeah, it all comes to play.
Digestion, like ease of life, less decision fatigue.
Oh, yeah, decision fatigue, big one.
That's the biggest one. Decision fatigue.
Yeah, people get tired. How many times do I hear like you hear like say like normal people, but like they say like I don't know what to have for dinner tonight. That would drive me crazy. Like having to think every day, like what am I having for dinner? What am I having for breakfast? What am I having for lunch? I would be so overwhelmed. I love the fact that I just know what I'm eating. I don't have to think. You know?
And all these people claim that they're too busy. It's like, well, you're making yourself more fucking busy by not eating the same shit. You're giving yourself 1,000,001 decisions to make every day.
Yeah.
And it just clears your mind to then think about some of the more important things like, you know, training, you know, things like that we've spoken about. Whereas I think a lot of people, because they're so focused, and I think it makes them more food focused because they're constantly thinking about what should I eat? What should I eat? And I'm like, part of your food focus issue is the fact that you're having to decide every single day what you're eating. And then you're more open to being emotionally biased to like what you want to eat. Whereas if that's taken away from you to a degree, that's not going to be as big a problem.
Not only that, like when you're macro tracking and stuff, most people are trying to make the food like taste as nice as possible.
Of course they are. Yeah.
As possible. But then because of that, like because you're enjoying it, you want to eat more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're better off simplifying, making your food a bit more boring, making it taste a bit less nice. As long as obviously it tastes decent, but it doesn't taste amazing all the time, you know, because then it just removes that need for, you know, gorgeous food.
They are two very good unpopular opinions, actually. I would agree. I really do. So, next one, worst client experience. Worst client experience. Hit me. Well, yeah, that's an interesting one. Just what you would class as like, kind of like the, I don't know. Just give it some context, but like it could just be a time where you were like, you were hyper aware that this is not, this is not either the person that you want to kind of coach, or the experience just was not great on your end for whatever reason.
We've had a few where, like, I say a few, I made it sound like a lot, but there's been a couple over the years where like the client bigs the desire up on the call and they sound like they really, really want it. And then they come into the program and they realize, actually, I don't want this. And then they try and throw you under the bus. Like,
yeah,
any excuse to get their money back and get a refund and blame it on you. Like I had one woman pay us for a month and then didn't bother texting me at all, didn't bother doing a check-ins, didn't bother doing any of the training, didn't bother doing anything. And then after a month tried to say that I was a scam artist because she didn't do what she was told to do.
That is mental. It is crazy, isn't it?
You know what? Have your money back. See you.
Yeah. It's not worth that.
I'm not even getting like you. Like, what with it? You know what I mean?
That is mad, isn't it? And I think because the industry is so fast growing, that is part of the problem, is that you're getting a lot of people come in and, we talk about kind of like the quality of like coaches, because that's, as you said, Bobs, it's saturated now. But the quality of some of the clients coming in is not very good,
Awful.
Not very coachable, not, not understanding that we're a business and that we're people as well, and that
respecters.
That we should conduct ourselves a certain way as coaches, but the people who are being coached should conduct themselves in a certain way as well. And again, it's just easier to blame the coaches, isn't it? And like, it's easier to throw coaches under the bus than it is the people who are being coached. I think I see that quite a lot. And I'm like, yeah, but you need to be coachable. And again, it ties into that kind of communication that we were talking about before. And like you, Brad, like she didn't speak to you for a whole month. And then all of a sudden just like flip the script and saying he's a scam artist. Like, it's crazy. Like, in no other industry would that be like acceptable at all. But, in our industry, it's so unregulated.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Absolutely mental. And okay, we'll just finish off with a this or that, just a couple of little things. So, okay, this is an interesting one. High carbs or high fats?
Personally, or for a client?
Personally, this is just you now, personally. High carbs or high fats?
I really love high fat food. Like,
I know. Do you know what? I take high fats, I reckon.
I think so too.
I think I would take high fats and eat like beef and eggs and salmon and shit all the time.
But you love a steak, Bobs, don't you? You love a steak.
God,
if I had to guess, like Bobby's favorite meal, it's like steak and peppercorn sauce.
Yes.
Chicken wrap.
Yeah, like I can eat the same thing, honestly. Like if I'm going out for dinner, I'm getting steak, mash, and peppercorn sauce.
Yeah, that is like your go-to meal, I think. That is your meal.
Yeah.
So Bobby, you're high fats, and Brad, you're...
We're both high fats.
Both high fats.
I think I'd choose high fat out of the two, yeah. I mean, saying that though, like you can't go wrong with pizza and burgers and pasta and stuff.
True, but we're definitely...
If I had to choose, I'd probably choose...
high fats, yeah. Okay, training, volume, Or so like low volume or high volume?
Low volume.
Depends how I'm feeling.
Yeah, it depends on the day.
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to say high volume. I've always been someone that does a shit ton of reps.
Yeah, you do like volume, Bobs. You do like.
I do.
Volume.
Like I'll happily go on leg extension and do 20 to 25 reps.
Yeah.
Yeah. High volume.
I just
you like low volume.
Lifting heavy, I like getting in and like getting out. Like
I think that perfectly represents the difference between the genders, though. I think men do prefer like less volume, but like a little bit more load. And like, I think females, I would actually go as far to say like females respond a little bit better to higher reps than they do like low volume overall. And I would actually say that guys respond a little bit better to slightly lower volume. So it kind of aligns perfectly with what actually works best as well.
Do you not think there's a correlation there though? Because I bet most guys that go into the gym and maybe they're not advanced, let's say. Most guys are going to go into the gym and they're not actually going to lift too heavy.
Oh yeah.
Whereas with women, most women are going to go into the gym and lift too light.
Too light,
so like, if a guy lifts too heavy, you can't do that much volume. Do you know what I mean? Before you're absolutely knackered. And with a woman, it's like if you're going to lift too light, you kind of need more volume because the stimulus isn't really there.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, females will generally like underestimate what they can lift.
Yeah.
100%.
And males 100% overestimate what they can lift.
100%.
That is so true. Yeah, okay. That perfectly represents kind of like the industry as a whole. Machines or free weights?
Machines. Easy. Saying that though, I used to love a barbell squat and I used to love a deadlift.
I used to love a barbell.
But these days, no machines. Like machines just feel good, man. Like,
machines.
Yeah, machines.
Much snobbing.
They've taken over. Well, it's the sport's fault anyway.
It is the sports.
No, it's a joke, guys. Crazy.
Everything just feels so good.
Yeah, machines.
I agree. I think machines. I can't wait for you guys to come back. You guys are coming back in November.
Together in November, but I'm back in May.
Amazing. So when you guys come, will you come to the sport in November?
Yeah.
Oh, so we've got the Atlantis. So 3 Cybex pieces arrived today, and we've got 11 pieces of Atlantis arriving, I think, at the end of this month. And when you guys come back, that 3rd squash court's going to be gone. It's going to be just like the Prime Room, but it's going to be 14 pieces of new tech equipment. You ever heard of new tech before?
God, they're really taking over, aren't they?
Taking over. It's going to be sick. So, yeah, you're going to have 14 pieces of new tech to play with in November in that session. It is a joke.
Where are they finding all this space?
Yeah, so that last squash court's going. The work for that will start pretty soon. And then by August, September, that's when the new tech equipment's being delivered. And I'm pretty sure Le Sport are going to be the first new tech performance center in the UK. Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
Mega. So mega session in November. Mega session. And final this or that, prep, or let's call it like off season. So dieting or not dieting. Yeah, Bobby's prep. She loves prep.
Thrive in a fat loss phase.
Yeah,
I'm a bit softer now, and I'm like, puffing and puffing. I'm like, before I was like, Brad, I'm so soft now. Like, oh, don't like it. Do not like it.
It's funny. Like I hate gaining phases. Don't enjoy them. I find it hard to stay consistent. I don't like them. Never have them.
Yeah, you two are definitely like prep people. 100%.
When I get in the prep and I lock in, like it's fairly easy.
Yeah,
and I do enjoy it because you actually just feel on your shit more. Like
you do.
Like even to the point now where like I haven't really been doing much for the past couple of months, just kind of brought in and maintain. And I get to the point where you kind of a bit.
It does get monotonous, doesn't it? And it gets a bit kind of like although you kind of like know you're making improvements, you're not getting that like visual reinforcement week after week. You're like, oh, I look better. Or you wake up and you got like new lines somewhere. You're like, oh, that feeling is like so addictive.
Oh, it's amazing. It's
amazing. But like we both know with like all the people that we coach, you have to spend time away from that.
Yeah.
It's the only way that you kind of like, and I think that's a big problem in the industry is that like people are just like dieting like 24, like not 24/7, but they're dieting way more than what they're not.
Yeah.
And so then they get stuck in this kind of like, well, you're not going to grow because you're never creating the conditions that you can recover from harder bouts of training. And I think this, from my coaching perspective with you guys, I think this is the last kind of like reverses you did was like the best that you've done under me. And that'll show when you get lean, when you get to your leanest set point later this year as well. So I'm really excited to start prep with both of you as well, really, because it is fun as a coach when you lock into prep as well. You'd be lying if like prep's kind of like the most fun to manage because it's the more involved as well. Like off season's kind of like, yeah, thumb up, yeah, you're doing great kind of thing. It's coaching, but it's like a different form of coaching. I always find where it's like prep and dieting's like that's coaching at its best, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you kind of got more to do when you're on prep as a coach as well, don't you? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
absolutely.
I find myself like I got 2 girls now, like in their gaining phases, and they're coming up to prep like in like May, June. And at this moment in time, I like find myself trying to be valuable, but at the same time, I'm like just keep doing what you're doing. Like everything's working.
That's it. It's just more of the same.
I'm like excited for them to diet. I know they're probably not that excited right now. We're probably looking forward to it to some degree, but like I'm excited to get them going because it is fun once you get into it, you know. And they're getting better every week. Is your client Gina competing again this year, by the way?
Yeah, G's compete because she's got quite friendly with the girls that were at your show, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think they might probably doing the same show again this year.
Yeah, I think they have been speaking. I think G told me, and I think yours is competing again.
Yeah, so she's doing the September one.
Yeah, right at the start of the PCA at September.
September 9th or something.
Yeah, 6th, I think it is, September 6th.
I can't remember the exact date, but there's a I think it's a natural show, I think.
Oh, I think that's at the end of September.
I think she's doing that one.
Yeah, I think G might be doing that as well. Yeah.
I think she might also do the same show that we did last year, but the Open.
In November. So you won't be, well, if you need me, I'll be at that show. So if you need me to send you live updates of your client, I can do. I'll be like, right, posing rounds for Bobby and Brad now. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I've kept you on for long enough. 1 hour, 17 minutes. We did well. We said an hour, but we gone a little bit over.
Yeah.
But no, that was really good. Got a lot of insight into your background, into how you've got to where you've got. And yeah, I think a lot of value for people kind of like listening to kind of coaches talk about, you know, their experience. A lot of people want to get into coaching now as well. Like you say, like always people kind of are entering the space, and it's hard to stay in this space as well. I think that doesn't get spoke about enough. You know, like all 3 of us have been doing this for like 10 years plus now.
Yeah.
And we've all evolved. We've all had to adapt, and you know, there'll be people who are just getting into coaching who will watch this, and hopefully they can take some kind of like useful insight away from it. So no, just wanted to thank you both for coming on today, and we'll be sure to have you back on again at some point soon. Maybe at the end of the diet, so that you can give your perspective on how my coaching was during
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys get off. So yeah, thank you both for coming on, and we will catch up again soon in the future.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Bye.